Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Going to spend some time talking to Angie Galimanis. She's with a company called LawrencePR.com. And we're doing a series of stories about PR firms that are relatively new, that recently got started, and just interested to learn about how they came into existence and to learn more about their story. And Angie, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Kevin.
Tell me a little bit about yourself and the firm.
Sure. So I've been in the PR business for about 20 years in a lot of different capacities, small firm, in-house. Most recently, I was with a mid-sized firm here in Portland where I served as vice president for 8 years. And about 8 months ago, I decided to leave that position and start my own firm, Lawrence PR. And we're a generalist firm, boutique firm. We handle a lot of different clients, B2B, consumer, food and beverage, nonprofit. 3 employees so far, and it's going great.
Okay. And you got started when?
In April.
And why? Why did you decide to launch on your own?
You know, there were 2 main reasons. The first was as you kind of grow through a larger company and you get into the management level, you don't really get to do the work as much anymore. You don't really get to work with the clients. And my passion really is taking companies, launching them, creating these campaigns for them, and I missed that. And so having a boutique firm really allows me to get back in the trenches with the clients, create the strategy, do the pitching, which I love. And the second piece was I found myself on an airplane every week, and I'm a parent. You know, my daughters, I have teenagers, and so it got to the point where I think it was important for me to have more of a work-life balance. And again, a boutique firm really gives me that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. So you sound like you work with a lot of different verticals. You work with a lot of different sizes as well?
We do. I mean, most of our clients right now are in Portland, which is fabulous. Again, keeps me off airplanes. But we have a lot of different sizes in terms of companies, lots of different verticals. It's important for me to make sure that we're very diverse in case one sector, the tech bubble is a great example where there were so many great PR firms that just absolutely went away when that happened. So for us, it's important to be diverse so that if something does happen with the economy, we're able to continue doing business.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the type of businesses that are B2B and that you are working with.
Sure. We work with a company called Certified Languages International, which is an on-demand interpreting service. Very interesting business model. So if you call a pharmacy, you don't speak English, they're able to connect you immediately with an interpreter, and you're able to communicate with the interpreter and the person that you're talking to from the business. So that is a great example of a vertical where they need press in pharmaceutical trades, they need press in healthcare, all the different aspects of their business. And so we're able to go in and get some great vertical press for them so that those businesses are calling them to book their services.
Oh, that's interesting. And so ultimately what they would like to do is have the doctor's office or the pharmacy as the client, not the individual.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And just
so they work with huge pharmacies, they work with healthcare, they work with large financial institutions. Within that company, there are hundreds of verticals that they're approaching, which is, from a PR perspective, fabulous because there are so many different angles that we can reach out to the media about.
How many different languages can they facilitate?
They facilitate quite a bit. I mean, I think they're up to over 200. And it's so interesting to see this list of languages and think that I didn't even know that language existed. And all of these people are coming to the States now and need those language services. And it's so frustrating if you are talking to your pharmacist and you can't get the right instructions on how to take your medicine because of that language barrier. And so this company is really allowing companies and businesses to be more efficient for their clients.
And what are some of the companies you're working with in the business-to-consumer front?
So we work with a lot of consumer brands. We have a great brewery called Ecliptic Brewing, started by John Harris, who's kind of a beer god in Portland, a huge beer city, as you know. We work with a museum, a new motorsport museum called World of Speed, which is going to be a large, fabulous motorsport museum opening in April here in town. We work with a music school. It's called Youth Music Project, where they give classes to students that are on free or reduced lunch. You're able to take music classes there for free. We've just started working with a chocolate company, which I can't really talk about yet. It's going to launch in a couple months, but really cool companies. Sparkloft is another social media firm that we represent, doing very innovative things in terms of social media.
Yeah, very cool. And what would you say is your sweet spot in terms of size of companies?
You know, it's been really interesting. Being boutique, we don't have a kind of set number anymore. We've worked with really tiny companies. We would just work with this great company called GP Kitchen that is a tiny storefront in Lake Oswego, which is a suburb of Portland, and they were opening up a location in the Pearl District. And, this is not a huge company, but it's got a great reputation, and so we were able to capitalize on that to help them with their opening. And then we work with companies that are, much bigger. Certified Languages is obviously a much larger company. So there really hasn't been necessarily a sweet spot in terms of companies' revenue for us to fit in and make a difference.
Yeah. It's I guess maybe too early to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, got to kind of get a groove going before you can do that. But it sounds like you've got one going. It sounds like you're really prospering, and it sounds like it's really neat. I really appreciate your time, Angie.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
And I want to encourage again the listener to go to. And by the way, the name real quick. Why Lawrence PR?
I named the firm after my grandfather. He was an Italian immigrant, one of the hardest working men I knew, but he always took care of his family first. And so I thought he was a great namesake.
Wow, that's very very admirable in the 21st century. Very cool. I like that. Lawrence-PR.com. Lawrence-PR.com. Angie, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here, still stuff over there at usatoreview.com, and you're listening to The Price of Business.